Okay, you can probably tell something is different behind me. The 750 gallon doesn't look the same. That's because it is now the Lake Malawi Aquarium. So we're going to show you this whole build all the way to completion. Of course, we got grow outs coming for this aquarium behind me. And we moved 150 tetra into the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands. And we may have got some really cool saltfish. So let's go check it out. Let's go. So what do you think? Be enough rocks to finish off the 750 gallon Lake Malawi Aquarium? Oh man, we got some huge boulders here. This is a real nice selection they gave me. Place further away from where I usually order from. The place that I usually go is out. The new guys though, better pricing. Humongous rocks. Some of these are huge. So great selection. Very happy. I would say we have enough rocks here to finish off all the freshwater tanks that we could possibly build in the near future. So rocks are back on the menu, boys. It's time to get the Lake Malawi Aquarium up and running. A little bit of a sad day. Came down to the 1,200 gallon and one of the OG angels has passed away. So see him down there at the bottom. Don't see any damage to the body or anything. I'm thinking old age, this guy, that guy, and I don't know, where's the other one at? Oh, right here in front of me. This one, so this one is a little younger, maybe a year or two. So this guy here might be 7 or 8 years old, and this one down here was part of a pair that puts him probably at around 9 years old, not quite 10. So he had a good run. I'm not sure exactly how long angels live, but I feel like 9 or 10 years feels about right. But alright, we'll go ahead and fish him out of there. Okay, that was no small effort getting all of these humongous rocks in this 750 gallon aquarium. I'm not sure if they show how big they really are, but a lot of these rocks are quite big, and I don't know what it is. If the older I get, the heavier these rocks seem. But they've been moved from the pile, washed down, brought around back in a wheelbarrow, and then brought into the fish room, loaded up on top of the tank, and finally arranged inside the aquarium. Oh man, so I couldn't film this last night because I was so dead tired. I was just like, I was spent. But the next morning, I'm pretty happy, and it's time to move on to the exciting phase, which is we're going to fill this bad boy up, and we're going to take off those old lights, get the new lights. But before we can do that, we have one last work item to do, which is to finish cleaning out the sump and getting it prepped to be the new style with the sediment chamber over here, and the rest is going to be a vegetable filter and then the return pump. So I'm going to knock that out, and then we're going to fill this bad boy up and put the new lights on it, because it's going to look a lot different. Yeah, taking a quick look at the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands, the riverbank growing in nicely, lots of growth. We just need a little bit of growth over here to block the lights from shining on the big tank over there, the 4,500 in the background. But overall, it's coming along. Except may have to swap out that one little plant at the bottom, at the back there. Maybe with one of the ones from the filter, because it doesn't matter how high they are. So yeah, maybe I'll swap that guy with this guy here. At any rate, we need to add a little water, but I was thinking we have 150 tetra that are destined for this aquarium, and quite honestly, I think they're big enough to make their way in here. What do you think? Should we go ahead and add 150 tetra in this video? Yeah, I'm thinking so too. So the sump is pretty much cleaned up now. We cut the pipes, and this is the Cichlid chair we're going to be putting in there. So underneath this filter floss, there's a bunch of holes there in the bottom. So it's just going to come out of these pipes into here, drain out the bottom, and then the rest is going to be a vegetable filter, which is just plants. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in here, and at that point I can go ahead and start filling up the aquarium, and we are getting close to go time. I'm getting excited. Definitely getting all those rocks in was put me over the middle point, and we're getting ready to fire this bad boy up. And we're just going to let the filter pads here, we got the cheap ones on top, to get the rest of the muck out, and any of the muck up here, just let the filters do it. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing inside there. Okay, it fit perfectly as soon as I cut half or about a third of it off. But it's not going to have any water pressure, so it'll still work as intended. It's good to go. All right, just like I planned. Okay, this truly is the exciting part, filling this bad boy up. It has been a while. I cannot wait to get this tank going. And we have, so obviously we have a lot of fish we're moving over, but we also have new additions that I purchased the other day that will be here this coming week after you see this video and into quarantine. And there is some awesome fish coming for this tank. It's gonna be one heck of a tank. Plus, I really want to get the new lights on it. You'll see what I'm talking about when I fire it up. It's gonna look like something. But I say I have a few hours of waiting before this is ready to, before it's filled all the way up enough that I can crank on the filter down there. So I'm gonna go do something else for a little while and we'll check back. Just a little sneak peek at one of the new saltwater fish, but we're going to go more into them in the next video because this beautiful stingray right here is not alone. There's some other cool predators in the 700-gallon refugium here. Getting acclimated. Okay, so we're filled back up, and obviously it doesn't look pretty because we're stirring up all that muck. We've got both of our power heads going, we've got the return pump going, and you can see a lot of surface agitation, as well as we've got the strainers off both the drains, as we're just draining everything off the surface. So we want to take all that muck from inside the tank, we want to stir it all up, and we want to bring it down here and not impede it and get it into the sump. And you can probably see right away that the settling chamber here, or the filter pad area, we need to lift up the container. So I need to put some bricks under there and raise it up. It's just on some small risers right now, so we'll get it on some bigger ones. We're gonna add the plants in there, and then the last chamber has biomaterial, the return pump. That's all good to go. But just want to show you guys, this is stage one. We're full of water, the full system's running. It looks like hell, but it will very quickly start to look nice. And of course, there's only that one light in the very back, so this is a 5-foot tank front to back, so we have that one light back there. It's not well lit, but I'll kind of keep track of how long it takes for this to filter out all that particulate that's caught in the water. And the next time we look at this, we're going to have clear water, be able to see our fully submerged rock formation. We'll get the vegetable filter up and running, and of course we will get the new lights on there, and I'll talk about what the lights are once they're on there, because I think it's going to be pretty awesome for the fish that are going in here for this aquascape to do a little twist on the lights than just your standard freshwater like plant looking lights. So I'll show you that once we get the water cleared up and get the lights on. There's going to be some big changes here at the 1200 gallon with the addition of 150 tetra. I guess some things that never change is Geophagus tending to some eggs down there on the rock, breeding again. All right, so just a quick look at the tank. Before we add in 150 tetra, we're going to be adding 50 Von Rio tetra, 50 bloodfin tetra, and I don't know what the other ones are. I think they're silvers. I forgot. I think 50 silver tetras. I'll have to take a look at them again. There's so many new fish coming into the aquarium main fish basement. I've got all the holding tanks they're all full, trying to get people get fish acclimated. We've got the fish on the saltwater side and the freshwater side. Some really cool stuff. Can't wait to show them off to you, but give them some chance to settle in. But we've been growing out these tetra for a while, so let's go ahead and get them in this tank. It's gonna be awesome. I'll tell you what, putting 100 to 150 fish in an aquarium is never been as anticlimactic as adding these guys in here. I don't know if they show up. There's schools of them everywhere, but they don't really have much of an impact. We throw some food in for these guys so they don't keep reacting to my camera. Alright, so we got some sticks and some pellets in there to keep the angelfish and the geos occupied, and we've got a bunch of flake food in the back there for the tetra, which really just I don't know if they're showing up on camera or not, but they look so small here in the tank because they're all the way in the back there, hanging out in the roots. At least some of them are. There's another group that kind of hangs down in the back area there. A bunch of the Bon Rios, and then there's some guys here in the top. But I'll tell you what, I just thought that they would have a little more of a visual impact than they do. You know, they have some growing to do and everything, but they really help show the depth there because they're in the back and they just don't really stand out, you know, like these guys do who are right up here at the glass. But yeah, it's a start. We're going to keep building up the schools with larger tetra species so that they show up in here as well as the cory cats. But good progress. Tank's coming along, and actually it's time to pull out the filter material that I moved over here to get this kick-started and get it into the 750 Lake Malawi aquarium, because it's time to kick-start that off and start moving over some African cichlids. So there is the anticlimactic 150 tetra added to the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands. So you probably notice it's a little bit obnoxiously loud, but we've got the drains going full tilt. They don't have the covers on them and everything because we're just trying to move as much water as possible to clear it up. And you can see it's done quite a good job so far clearing it up. We have just one light 5 feet in the back there, so can't expect too much from that. But I want to show you guys the kind of dark, eerie look of the tank, you know, before we put the real lights on. And of course, we've got the filter up and running. So we got the chamber there that's catching all the sediment and the muck. We got the vegetable filter started there. Of course, we just brought them over from the 600 gallon Asian jungle, and then we got some media in return. So I think it's time, even though it's not completely clear yet, and I've just been mucking around in the sump, but it's gonna look a lot better once we pop the lights on. So I'm gonna take off the old lights and we'll pop on the new lights and take a look. Well, I would say that it has cleared up fairly nicely. It's starting to look like what I was thinking about. A little bit of mulm caught in the corner there, gonna suck that out, and a little bit of debris in there, but not too bad for the most part. All that water flow up there and having the drains off, just let it all get down into the filter, has cleared the tank out really nicely. So just like all my tanks, because I have a whole lot of media bags in all my tanks, I'll just take out some from other tanks and move them over here and jumpstart the tank right away with fish. So the first fish going in here are of course going to be out of the 125 gallon, the Malawi River Aquarium. So all those Lake Malawi fish will be coming into the 750, and then like I think I might have mentioned earlier in the video, I have already ordered other fish for this aquarium, so they're going to be in the grow out for a little while. They're going to come in small to keep them affordable. Then when they grow them up, and then they will certainly get moved into here. It'll be done in a big batch, that way even though the other guys will be established, I believe it won't be a problem because we'll be introducing a lot of fish at one time. So plus it's a big tank, and there's a lot of rock work in there, a lot of rocks. I mean, there's some, I hope they come across on camera, there is some huge rocks in here. Some of these are just enormous. And as always, these tanks are very deep, 5 feet front to back, so you gotta go up top to really appreciate how deep they are. And what I was talking about with the lights is, so these are actually marine lights, but they're configurable, so I can dial down the blue and dial up the white. And what you end up with is a Kelvin rating around 8,000. So normally in a freshwater tank, you'd probably be looking at 65 to 6,700 Kelvin, and that's kind of your slightly yellowish white look. We see a lot of Planet tanks, but you notice this tank is a little bluer, a little whiter, and that's the 8,000 Kelvin. So all we're going to be growing in here is algae on the rocks that all the Mbuna can pick on and eat. But there's no plants up here. We're only having the plants down in the vegetable filter in the sump. So I think this is going to be a better look. It's going to pull out the blues and the yellows and everything in the fish a little more, and it's going to work really well for this tank. So basically, it's time to transfer fish over from the 125, which is no small undertaking. But man, 750 gallon Lake Malawi aquarium, It's looking sweet. So it was no small task to get all the African cichlids out of the 125 Malawi River Aquarium, because I have quite the jungle on top of here, and these vines are, you know, they they don't make life easy when you're trying to catch fish. And multiple times, I'm sure I caught every African cichlid in here, but as you can tell, there's some little tiny guys, like 5 just popped out from that little tiny root right there. There's more. So there are a few more in here. I don't know how I missed that big guy right there, but we'll figure that out. And there's some pleco and everything, but for the most part, as you can see, they're almost all gone, and that's because they are in the 750, the new 750-gallon Lake Malawi tank. So let's go take a look at them in their new home. Okay, a little bit different. So remember in the 125-gallon, these guys completely filled it up. It was like, it looked like it was jam-packed with African cichlids. Yeah, they put a little bit of a dent in the 750, but not much. And as you can see, they're all up at the front, and you've got the 4 or 5 feet of empty tank behind them. In fact, I know there's some in here. I don't even see them right now, which they're probably back in the bigger caves. There's a couple big caves. I don't know if I spoke about it, but there's 8 crates underneath all of the major areas there, so smaller fish can get in. There's some bigger caves. There's caves in the front underneath each one of these large rocks. And then in the middle section here, there's caves coming from the side and out the top and all that, so that even really large fish could go into. So we've got a mix of small, medium, and large size caves, a little bit for everybody, and then ultimately just a giant aquarium. So I don't expect really any problems with aggression or anything. Even in the 125, even after so when I had it fully planted, there was no aggression. When I took out all the plants, there was a little bit. It wasn't quite as good because, you know, it wasn't many site breaks and everything. But I think in this aquarium, there's just so many, just so much habitat, so many site breaks, so many caves, and then ultimately there's gonna be so many fish too that I really don't expect to be an issue. Plus, we're gonna have a mix. It's not just gonna be a Buna. Obviously, we see one dolphin right there, female dolphin, but there's a lot more big fish coming to this aquarium. But it is pretty awesome seeing these guys in their new home and seeing how much room there is to go for new friends for these guys. And of course, I got a few little guys to catch out of the 125. I figure there's probably maybe about 10 more and of those probably like 8 of them are very, very small. So I will get them moved over here. There also are the catfish that I originally put in here. And they've gotten huge, but you'll never see them again. I saw them when I took all the rocks out of the 125 and caught them, put them in here, haven't seen them since. I should have got them on video, but once again, late at night, I'm trying to catch so many fish out of the 125, which was quite the chore. So I really just couldn't film. I just wanted to get these guys into their new home in a timely manner. But yeah, this is awesome. Loving seeing these guys in here, and cannot wait. Oh my gosh, I see the tail of a catfish right there. Well, unfortunately, I don't know if I got any of that on camera, but I was just surprised to see anything at all with those guys, because normally you don't. But here we go. This is day 1 of the 750-gallon Lake Malawi Aquarium. Dialing in to do, of course, new fish to add, of course, but I think it is an awesome start, and these guys are looking beautiful. They're definitely popping in their new home. So the 750-gallon Lake Malawi Aquarium, the 1,200-gallon Amazonian Islands aquariums, they're in that process of maturing. So, you know, getting the tank fully dialed in, adding more fish. In case of the Lake Malawi Aquarium, growing out some awesome fish for that tank. So right now we're going to pivot back to the salt side of the house. We're going to do those modifications that I've spoken about with the Aquascape and Predator Bay 3000. We'll show you a little more about the new additions that are in the estuary and the 700-gallon refugium and the other system. And of course, the 125-gallon where the African cichlids used to live, it's now empty. So, you know, I have a couple plans for that. So I'm trying to decide between 2, so I need to do that. And then I'm also maybe thinking about switching up. I might leave the 1,500-gallon system salt and then take the other 2 tanks in the annex, the other 1,200 and the 500, and maybe do those as the Lake Tanganyika tanks. So thinking about that one, because I'm going to need to keep the 1,500 gallon system of salt for a while, because I need to grow out those baby predators. It'll be a while before they'll be able to go to Predator Bay 3000 with the big boys, and it's a lot easier to feed them and take care of them in the sump than it is like the 1,000 gallon estuary, because 1,000 gallon estuary is 20 feet long and 4 feet deep, 4 feet tall, so it's not the easiest tank to interact with little baby fish. So we'll see, but as always, plenty going on, and as always, I'll see you next time, and hopefully soon.